Hey guys, what's up? Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're gonna go through my July favorites. I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start off with skincare. First up, I've got a mask. This is the Generation Clay Ultraviolet Brightening Purple Clay Mask. This came in a FabFitFun box. This is awesome. It does really great at drying out breakouts without drying out the rest of your skin. It's something that I've been using 2 to 3 times a week, and I feel like it's really been helping my skin. So I would definitely recommend that. Also, you get a lot in this package, so that's nice. You don't have to use very much at all. You just apply like a thin layer to your face. So really good. This I have mentioned before in my empties video, but it's the Mario Badescu facial spray with green tea, aloe, and cucumber. This I've been using to set my makeup every single day, and I love it so much. I won't yammer on about it too much because I know I've already talked about it a bunch, but I would definitely recommend this. It's really affordable too. Also for skincare, this is the Aquaphor. I don't even think it's technically called a lip balm. It's like a healing ointment, and you can put it on any part of your skin that's like dry and cracked at all. When I was on Accutane, I got really bad like dry cracked lips, and my dermatologist recommended this for my lips, and I've just kind of used it ever since. When my lips get chapped at all, I know this is gonna fix it immediately, so this is always my go-to for that. Moving on to beauty. This is the Tartelette in Bloom palette by Tarte. My mom actually got me this, and I use this all the time. I love it so much. It's a really neutral palette, which I like because I don't really like to wear super bright colors on my eyes, so I feel like when I get a palette that has a lot of bright colors, there's always ones that I'm just never gonna touch, but these I actually will use all of these colors, so it's a really useful palette to have. They blend really nicely, and they're really buildable, so you can do like a really, light, simple, everyday look as well as something more dramatic. And I really like that it has the mattes and the shimmers, and both formulas are really good as well. This was also from my mom. This is the Too Faced Sweethearts Perfect Flush Blush. It's got the cutest packaging ever. It's shaped like a heart. It doesn't have any actual glitter in it, so you can see it's just a really subtle shimmer. It's not chunky glitter, and what I tend to do is stick to mostly these two, which make it a little bit more corally, and I usually kind of skip out on this really pink one unless I want something extra sort of bubblegum pink. This is not a new product by any stretch, but it is relatively new to me. It's the Bahama Mama bronzer by The Balm. I absolutely love this stuff. It's really wearable, and it's really good for like bronzing, which is what I kind of like to do, where it's like you're using a bronzer and you're kind of contouring, but like not really. So you can kind of use it to add warmth and definition at the same time, which makes it really great for every day and really wearable. And I find this is kind of goof proof. It's hard to go over the top with it because it's not too gray or too warm. It's kind of that perfect in-between shade. So it works really well for every day. This is a product that I'm sure you've heard of before. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I talked about this in my makeup routine video. This is something I've been using every single day to kind of set my brows and make sure they stay in place, and it works so well for that, especially if you're worried about your eyebrow pencil smudging or anything like that. This will prevent that from happening. I will warn you, it will harden your eyebrow hairs. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It is like cement on your eyebrows. Like, they're gonna dry hard. Probably the more you use, the worse that is. But if you just use a tiny bit, you're probably not even gonna notice it. But I usually really go in with it. And the first time I tried it, I really didn't like it because of that. And I was like, what the heck? This feels so weird. But it does really work to keep your eyebrows in place. Just heads up if that's something that would bother you. This was also from my mom, and it's the Tartiste, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Tartiste Double Take Eyeliner by Tarte. I talked about this in my makeup routine as well. This side is more of the crayon side. I think they call it a pencil, and then this is the liquid side. I usually use the liquid side. It's so easy because of how long the brush is here. It's super easy to kind of lay it down on your eye and just create the shape that you're wanting to do, whether you're trying to do a wing or just to line along the edge of your lash line, which is what I usually do. It's super easy and it lasts all day. I've got one kind of fashion favorite. I just got this tote bag from Barnes & Noble, actually. It's Kate Spade, and it's super cute. I feel like kind of a hypocrite carrying it because some of these books I have not read or didn't like, but it looks cute. And I have been looking for a good tote to carry every day, and this is the perfect size. It's not so big that I'm gonna fill it with too much junk and it's gonna get messy, but it's not too small to carry everything I need. And I'm kind of picky about the strap length. Like, I like to be able to fit my entire like forearm in it to put it over my shoulders. So that's always something I check before buying a tote bag, and this meets the requirements for that. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of use out of this so far. I have a few household favorites I wanted to share. The first one is my steamer, which is kind of a weird thing to share, I guess. But I wanted to talk about this because this is something I use almost every single day. I love it so much. I have never actually owned an iron. Obviously my mom had one when I was growing up, so I would use it growing up sometimes, but ever since I moved out, I always just had this instead. And honestly, I don't think I probably ever will purchase an iron just because this is so good and it's so fast and it's so easy and it's so much more difficult to screw it up. I know like sometimes I would accidentally like iron something in a weird way and like create a crease that I didn't want to create. This won't do that. This is just gonna steam out all the wrinkles. It's probably slightly less crisp and pristine as an iron, so maybe like if you have the kind of job where you need to iron your dress shirt every morning, maybe stick with an iron. But for normal, like every day, or I feel like most office settings today are not that strict, this would be perfect. And it's just gonna help make sure that your clothes are looking nice and put together. Yeah, I think it makes you feel a little bit more confident stepping out the door when you know you've gotten all your creases just steamed out. This was a present from my boyfriend's mom, and it is so useful. This is a wick trimmer, and I love this because every time I have a candle burning and the wick gets all like long and like poofy at the top, I don't really know, there's probably a word for that. If you light it when it's like that, it gets super smoky and it doesn't burn evenly and it's not good. And then when I would just use scissors to cut it, it would like fly off somewhere and then get all like the smudginess all over everything. But this is so nice because you just trim it off and then the wick just stays right in this, and then you can go to the trash can and brush it off, and it just makes it so much simpler. So thank you so much if you're watching. We love this and we use it all the time. Last, for household items, I actually have this. I made it say what the video is, so it's all ready to go. This also came in a FabFitFun box, and I just love it. I think it's so cute, and I love that it's so neutral because we don't have a ton of color in our apartment. So if this was like bright orange or bright blue or something, it would look really out of place. But I think this is just subtle, and it's really nice if you want to do like a message, or you know, you can use it for social media posts and that kind of thing as well, but or just like messages to other people you live with. It's super fun for that too. I have one food favorite. It's actually a drink favorite, and it's these Tazo Chai Keurig K-Cups. They're so cool. I wanted to give them a try because I really like the chai lattes from Starbucks, but they're kind of expensive. So I was like, you know, this maybe would make it so I could drink it a little bit more regularly. And I will say they don't taste like the Starbucks ones. I would say they're probably sweeter, and they do have a lot of sugar in them. So if you're trying to watch your sugar, this might not be something you want, but they're nice as a treat. What you do is you use this as the K-cup, and then there's this package. It's the sweetened dairy packet. So maybe if you're trying to have it be less sugary, you could try using less of this. This is just the tea, and then this is the milk and sweetener that makes it the latte. So you could probably make it a little bit healthier by doing that. I just dump the whole thing in because I'm like, I want my chai latte. It's really easy and obviously a lot more affordable than the Starbucks one. So I would recommend giving those a try if you really like the Starbucks chai lattes. I have a couple entertainment favorites. They're actually both books. First of all, I have Harry Potter. This is the last one, obviously, but it kind of represents the entire series. I just finished reading all of them. Obviously, they're so good. Like, I feel like everybody has already read them, so you're gonna be like, yeah, like this isn't really breaking news. But if you haven't read them, I would honestly really recommend just reading them start to finish. What I did is I would like read a book, then watch the movie, read a book, then watch the movie, and it was really fun to compare and contrast. And at first I was kind of intimidated because like even though they're like an easy read, it's a lot of reading. Like they're long books and I was like really intimidated by it. But honestly, the story is so good and the writing is so good. You just speed right through it. And I feel like it really kind of got me back into reading every single day, which is something that I used to do a lot and I had kind of gotten away from. So I'm really excited about that, which brings me to my next favorite. I'm not finished with this yet, but I feel confident saying it's a favorite because I'm like, this is all I have left. This is What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. I love this. She's the person who wrote Big Little Lies. So I haven't seen that or read it. I want to read it first and then watch it. But this is so good. The premise is a little bit upsetting. It's about a woman who wakes up from a head injury accident and she has forgotten the last 10 years of her life. But it's written with such humor that it's like there are parts of it that are like sad or upsetting, but also like funny, like really funny. And I think it's just a really, really good book and I haven't been able to put it down, so I would definitely recommend this for sure. Okay, and that is everything I have for my July favorites. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you back here next time. Bye.